This video is part of a longer video where I go over all ADHD medications. This one is just the amphetamines that are long-acting. So if you've tried all those methylphenidates or any of those and you just don't really like it, your doctor may switch you to amphetamines. They usually start out with methylphenidates first because it's been around longer, tested and tried better. I'm not a doctor, but let's go over these. So we have Dyanavel XR, Mydayis, Adzenys XR-ODT, Adderall XR, and Dexedrine Spansules. Spansules, am I saying that right? And different forms of Vyvanse. So that's pretty interesting to know. See, I didn't know that. This is helpful to know that there's so many forms of something. If you don't like taking a pill, looks like there's chewable. Okay, so let's go through Dyanavel XR. So the starting dosage would be 2.5 or 5 milligrams, and it's for 6-year-olds to adults, and the doctor would prescribe, it would seem, 2.5 to 20 milligrams. Here's what they look like. They are in forms of 5 milligram, 10, and 15. And oh, here's a 20. They made it pretty easy not to get mixed up and to know exactly what you're taking, which is nice. So you don't get mixed up with other pills that look exactly like that. It's like the very stereotypical pill that's made out of chalk, it would seem. Oh, and the cool thing about it though is it's bubblegum flavor. It seems like this would be more useful for someone that is a kid, bubblegum flavor, or if you just cannot stand pills. I don't know. They come in these very interesting little things here, so you can get the exact dosage, I would assume. Here's what they look like. You fill it up to a certain point. Yeah, that's a lot. Wow. It's like a full glass. Thank God this is not injecting you with it. It'd be so stupid. Injecting yourself with bubblegum flavored things. That would be dumb. That's not what this is. This is not injecting your skin, just letting you know it looks like it. That's not what this is. This is basically just what you would, I assume, put in a spoon and take, or put in your mouth and take. Now let's go over the amphetamine that's long-acting called Mydayis. So this is an ADHD medication. The starting dose would be 12.5 milligrams that doctors would prescribe if you are 13 to 17 years old. And they would prescribe anywhere from 12.5 to 25 milligrams. If you're an adult, they would start the dosage out the same, and really it would just go from 12.5 to 50 milligrams. Here's what they look like. So, oh my gosh, I love this color. If I could be a pill, I think I'd be one of these because they look beautiful. 12.5 milligrams, 25. I have a thing for teal though. 37.5, very strange number, but they do the math, makes sense. Oh my gosh, whoa, 50 milligrams. Look at the size of that. Ain't she a beaut? Oh, I don't think I can handle her. She's a big lassie, she is. I just mixed up like Australian and Irish. What the hell am I doing? What am I doing? What are they doing? Look at the size of this thing. Freaking look at it. And this is from what age? 13-year, what? Dude, I don't think a 13-year-old would get 50 milligrams. I don't think I could take something that enormous. That is huge. What is that, a purse? And you open it up and it has little pills inside of it? There's no way someone could just take that. There's no way. Apparently people do though. Now that's a hard pill to swallow. Can you swallow that? That is the biggest pill I've ever seen. Look at all the other pills. I mean, there's some big babies like this one right here, Jornay PM. That was huge. I think this one's about the same. Yeah, they're about the same. It's huge. My goodness gracious. Now let's go over the amphetamine that is long-acting, called Adzenys XR-ODT. It would seem the doctor would start out the dosage at 6.3 milligrams if you are 6 to 12 years old, and they can go anywhere from 3.1 to 18.8 milligrams. If you're 13 years old, they'd start it about the same, exactly the same. And 13 to 17, they would prescribe it. That's so interesting. That's the first time I've seen that. I've just gone through all of these, but this is the first time I'm seeing that the dosage would go down. Now this would be so interesting if I can get a doctor to hop on here and talk to me with this. 3.1 to 12.5. So if you're younger, you would take more. Well, you could take more. This is interesting. 12.5 is just what you get in general if you are an adult. And so basically all of these are orange flavored. They look like little oranges. They should put little tiny leaves on it. Here's what they look like. 3.1, 6.3, 9.4, 12.5, 15.7, and 18.8. These are very interesting. And it's nice because you can tell the dosage by A1, A2, A3, A4, all the way to A6. So that makes life a little easier. So I'm glad these are chewables because that would be very hard to swallow. Tough pill to swallow. Let's go over the ADHD amphetamine medication that is long acting called Adderall XR. Very popular medication. The starting dose would be 10 milligrams, it would seem, that doctors would prescribe if you are 6 to 17 years old. And they would prescribe anywhere from 5 to 30 milligrams. Now, if you're an adult, the starting dose would be twice the amount, starting dose at 20 milligrams. And they would prescribe up to the same amount. So here's what they look like. Man, they're getting really creative with how pretty these look. Like, look at this. Wow. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That's what they all look like. So it's interesting so you can tell what they're at. This is pretty. I just like the teal ones. Let's go over the amphetamine ADHD medication that is long-acting called Dexedrine Spansules. I don't think that's how it's actually pronounced. I'm just making it sound better than it is. So it looks like it is for 6 to 17-year-olds. And the starting dose a doctor would prescribe, it would seem, would be 5 milligrams. And it looks like they'd give it to you 1 to 2 times per day, which is interesting because long-acting medications don't usually, it doesn't seem like you take them multiple times a day. You usually just take one and it lasts the whole day, but depends how long they last. That's the thing. Like Strattera lasts all day, 24 hours. Up to. So you only need to take it once. But this is interesting. So we have 5, 10, and 15 milligrams. So we don't really have to take many different kinds. That's interesting. Okay. There's less types than normal, but it's very interesting looking. It's kind of like this Ron Burgundy color. And the very last amphetamine that is long acting, Vyvanse. Very, very popular. I made a video on this where I go through this in detail even more. Very popular video. So there's many different forms of this, which is great. So it seems like doctors would prescribe a starting dose of 30 milligrams, no matter how you take it. So there's capsules and chewables. The chewables are strawberry flavor. That's the best flavor I've seen yet. We've seen orange, bubblegum. Bubblegum's pretty good, but it doesn't actually taste like bubblegum. It just tastes like medicine. So orange, bubblegum, grape, and now strawberry. So anywhere, whether being 6 years old to an adult, you will be prescribed anywhere from 10 to 70 milligrams. Here's what they look like. So remember, top row is capsules, bottom row is chewables. 10 milligrams, right? 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. Oh my gosh, and a 70. I think that's the most I've ever seen. And what's interesting about that, this is interesting. This 70 milligram one, that looks like a basketball player logo color combo is 70 milligrams, but look at this big hubba bubba. That's 50 milligrams. And this is like half the size. This guy can eat this guy for breakfast, but this has more. So that's interesting. So just know that just because something has more milligrams, it doesn't mean it's going to be bigger. So that's good to know. So you can ask your doctor about that and say, hey, I had this misconception that if it has more milligrams, it's going to be a bigger pill. Not necessarily the truth. So if you're taking high doses in medication, but you don't like how big the pill is, you can say, hey, I've seen a chart that shows other medications that are actually smaller with more doses in them. Can you show me just what those are and explain them to me? Or you can take a chewable. So you get 60 milligrams with a chewable right here. That's pretty interesting. This chart really would have helped me so much if I could just have seen it and educated myself, which is why I'm helping you do the same. I actually have a link in the description below where you can download this entire medication sheet. Feel free to download it. Also, if you want ADHD coaching, go ahead and click the link in the description below as well. Later, neighbors.